Welcome to the LoveJoy show. In today's topic, I want to talk about this tweet Asian doll sent out, basically saying that she doesn't date people, men, who don't have at least don't have at least three bodies. In other words, that they're not killers. According to this article, I have the link below in the description. It says Asian doll never fails to amaze people with her tweets. Following her controversial Donald Trump post, the female MC has now successfully made people baffled when she took to the microblogging site on Tuesday. She declared that she has no interest in men that are not killers who have at least three bodies. That's at least three bodies, meaning if you kill three people, you qualify, like your foot is in the door to be in Asian doll's presence, but three is the minimum. So you have to have at least three bodies. Now, if you get more bodies, you have a better chance with Asian doll. The article also goes on to say her tweet soon garnered attention with more than 2,000 people hitting the love button. So 2,000 psychopaths and sadists hit the love button. And it says, meanwhile, the article goes on to say, meanwhile, nearly 1,000 people felt the urge to, quote, retweet the post to express their disgust on her. So there's 2,000 people that loved her comment, and there's 1,000. So it's basically a 2-to-1 ratio, people who like it and people who don't like it. I want to believe that the love button doesn't necessarily mean you like it. It just means you're marking it or something. I don't know. Because I'm naive, right? I try to believe the world is not as sick as it actually is. But anyway, that doesn't surprise me. A, that she said that. B, that people loved it. Because, if you look at the statistics and you see what kind of men a lot of women choose, it makes a lot of sense. So that's why you have a lot of prisons that's full of men locked up in jail, especially in the black community, because a lot of men try to emulate this, because these are the type of men that are not all black women, but the Asian doll types, the chicks in the hood, those types, those hood chicks. These are the kind of men they choose. And it's a lot of people say, well, it's why are you beating up on the black women? Most women in every culture has a propensity to like the edgy, quote unquote, bad boy. It's just that in the black community, that goes to the extreme. I haven't heard a woman that says she wants killers. I haven't heard another woman say that online. Now, back in the mafia days, did mafia wives brag about their husbands being killers? I'm sure they did. Now, could part of this be her trolling? It could be also. But the trick is, now that she said that, any man that's around her, you have to assume that man around her has at least three qualified bodies, because she won't deal with you unless you have at least three bodies. So if I was working for the FBI, DEA, whatever, I would just follow Asian doll around and see who she dates. And, that'd cut my workload in half because of what she just said. So she basically just put herself on the map, and any guy standing next to her, he's going to be like the FBI, they're going to work on him like a thesis project. So anyway, she goes on to say that, and I have my theories on why women choose bad boys and why women say things like Asian doll says. And I believe that a lot of people in America especially are generally just sexually suppressed. And I believe that Asian doll just needs a good old run in the LoveJoy dungeon. The dungeon, the S&M dungeon. I think that if she visited my dungeon, my imaginary dungeon, hopefully one day I get enough followers and fans, and we can go and maybe raise some money to create a dungeon, and we can help these girls exercise these demons that's running around in them. I think Asian doll just needs a good session. Okay. I saw her in one of her pictures. I noticed that she had some S&M like garb on. I noticed that. Let me Google this real quick. Asian doll. Let me just Google her. There's a picture of her with some she's got like a leather neck brace with the kink chains, and you can see her boobs. She's got her boobs out showing, but she's got them covered with some little spikes or something. See, Asian doll, she just needs some good S&M treatment. And the closest thing she can get to it is thugs and killers. But I don't think she really wants killers. I think she just needs to be turned out. I just think she does. I think she doesn't want that, what is it called? She doesn't want that vanilla sex. Asian doll needs some rough, tough, passionate S&M treatment. I can't really say much more than that because my channel's already, on thin ice. But let's just say that Asian doll needs a man that's committed to getting her off, and she likes to mix pleasure and pain. I'll say it like that. Like, some women, they have to have pleasure and pain. A lot of men don't understand that, so men resort to being killers and all kinds of things when all they need to do is invest their money in a nice, good dungeon and just, set Asian doll off, man. Get her off. She's very pretty, but she's dangerous because we live in a sexually repressed society, and a lot of people don't think we're sexually repressed because people say, well, we got OnlyFans. How can we be sexually repressed when we're OnlyFans? Well, OnlyFans, you're watching the girl, but you're not really engaged with the girl, and you got to go through a whole lot of money to have any chance of possibly meeting any of these girls on OnlyFans. And yes, there is seeking arrangements, but even that is under the radar. That's not really, it's not like you have legalized sex where you can go to prostitute, house or whatever, whore house, and get your rocks off and on your lunch break. So there's still repression in that sense. But a lot of these females, they're not getting this emotional stimulation. And as a result, it comes out into them wanting thugs and just all kind of stuff. And Asian dolls, she's going to get a lot of dudes sent to jail because a lot of dudes get seduced and they would do anything. And she knows that. They would do anything to have her approval. And that gets her off because she's a sadist. I'm trying to explain this to people, and people, y'all have to try to follow me here. I think I hear a damn weed eater outside. Give me 1 second. Man, the universe don't want me to get this information out. They turning on weed eaters just so I can't get y'all, tell y'all how these women want to get turned out. But anyway, I'm back. Godly, that noise. I'm gonna probably have to. I hope that noise is not bothering the podcast. But anyway, let me just get back to what I was saying. So yeah, she wants to get turned out. She's a sadist. If she was in the dungeon, Asian doll would be I think she would be a dominatrix. She'd be a switch. So she would dominate, but she wants to be dominated. So she really wants to be a sub. And she wants to be a submissive so bad she's wanting the most extreme type of man. So that's just my sexual analysis of this whole Asian doll. Now, this is not to excuse what she said. What she said is absolutely destructive to the black community. It's one of the reasons why the black community is in the shape that it's in. It's because I think Hitler made a quote, or somebody says, give me first come the women, then the children, then the men. Basically, if you can control the mind of the women, you can then control the mind of the children because they raise the children and the men will follow. So if you tell the women to only date killers, they will neglect the successful men in their community, and they will go to the most common lowest denominator in men, which are the thugs and all that stuff. So that's just how it works. And as long as this mentality stays, you're going to, the black community just won't come up. It just won't, because it's selecting for the worst of the worst. Now, you have that in white communities too, but it's to a lesser extent, and a much lesser extent in Chinese communities, where you see Chinese people, they've been raised to go for the better halves of society, which is why you see a lot of Chinese couples and families, and they move into suburbs and they have these big houses. They're doctors, lawyers, and engineers. So that's how it works, and it's sad to see. In the white community, there's that. It's almost like a hybrid, but the white community is better more into the psychology of why they choose what they do, which is why you have a lot of S&M clubs. So with that said, I hate that I'm getting interrupted with this weed eater, but anyway, I'm out.